Hi there, everyone. I'm the Nature Guy, and I'm here at Camp Asable. But last week I was in Arizona, and in Arizona we saw two really interesting warblers. Now it's spring in Michigan, so lots of warbler species are flying north, and you can see them in your backyard, in parks, and all sorts of places. It's an exciting time of the year in May. But a couple of weeks ago and last week down in Arizona, we were up in the mountains. So Arizona's kind of a flat desert in southeast Arizona, but there are what they call sky islands. They're mountains that stick up quite high. And of course, as you go up a mountain, it's cooler. And so up on the top of these sky islands are conifer forests. And these two species of warblers like conifer forests. That's where they breed. Now, what's interesting about these two is that they're pretty spectacularly colored. One is called the red-faced warbler, and you can see why it has its name. The red and black contrast is really something. Some people think that God forgot to finish painting the rest of the bird, but I think it's pretty cool the way it is. And they have a very distinct call that you can hear in the forest long before you get to see them. But if you're patient, you can get to see them. And we called this one in. We played some tapes back, and it came in, and it was calling. It was the time of year when they're kind of defending and establishing their territories. So this guy was really interested in getting close to see what was going on. But this species and the other one I'm going to talk about are interesting in that the males and females are colored identically. Oftentimes the female, who has to sit on the eggs and incubate for quite a while, oftentimes they are more drably colored. But in the red-faced warbler, they are just as brightly colored as the males are. So that's kind of interesting. The other one that we saw was the painted redstart. And it's spectacular too, only it has all the red underneath and then cool black and white markings above. And this one also has a very distinct song. And we saw these several times in the conifer forests up in the mountains. And they also, the female and male, are colored exactly the same. And so the female is rather brightly colored for somebody that's got to sit on a nest all day. But what's interesting is where they nest, and that makes a difference. So the red-faced warbler nests in a little cup-like nest, but it builds it in a hole in the ground or under a big crack in a rock up in the mountains so that it's kind of hidden. So it's such a hidden nest, it doesn't matter that the female is brightly colored. The painted redstart is interesting because it's all red underneath, and so when it sits in its nest, all you see is black and white. There's no other colors showing. So it's pretty good, and it nests on the ground, on the slope of the mountain, sometimes up against a tree stump or something. But being black and white on the top of the bird, nesting on the ground, it works fine. And so both females can afford to be brightly colored and still be rather hidden because of where they build their nest. So what's the lesson we can learn from our brightly colored friends, the warblers? Well, the different strategies that these two warblers use to make their nest and hide out reminds me that God has so many different strategies up his sleeve to help us live a happy life, to help us be better witnesses for him, to help us with our family and school and work and all of the issues that we face. There's nothing that God can't handle. Well, that's our lesson for today. See you next time. Bye.